The anime starts with a look at the city and then focuses on the adventurer, Nick. He talks about his group countless battle arts, his girlfriend how he wants to help his group reach rank A. Then the happy tale ends with it cutting to Argus kicking Nick out of the group, his girlfriend breaking up with him. And we see him turned into an obsessed idol fan. After the opening theme, it cuts back to when he was just kicked from the group sitting in the rain looking back on what transpired. It then returns to him in the rain being approached by a girl who is an upstart idol. She gives him a ticket, her umbrella, while calling him Mr. Stray Dog, and tells him to make sure he comes to the show the following day as she runs off. Even though he said he wasn't going, it cuts back to the present day with him being there enjoying the performance. After getting merch returning home, he finds himself in need of money. The next day he goes to a meeting place for adventurers to find someone to party with. Yet he is unable to ask anyone due to the lack of trust he has for people after his last group. While dining at a tavern, 3 other people end up sharing his table. Nick evaluated the 3 who sat at the table. Then downs his drink along with the others. All of them yell out how they can't trust humans anymore. Afterward, they realize that they agree on something though they had only just met. We then get the backstory of Tiana, an elemental mage. After showcasing her lighting magic to the teachers, she goes to meet her fiancé, only to have him show no interest in what she has to say while sitting next to another girl. Even though she has never met the girl before, they claim that Tiana is harassing her. The ex-fiancé is fed up with Tiana, thinking she is looking down on him like all the others. Her family disclaims her, she leaves having taken the blame for shaming the family. While she tries to find work is denied at every turn. A flyer for races gets her attention. After winning the first time, she develops an addiction to gambling. With several losses, she wonders how she'll pay rent. She is approached by adventurers only to ultimately scare them off. This is where her story comes to an end. Now it is the priest, Zem's, turn to tell his story. He talks about where he resided as a priest. A young girl helped him to gather herbs. The girl sits on his lap as they talk near the water. He pays her for her help, she runs off. It all looks to be peaceful, innocent until that night. The girl returns to his place with more herbs she had gathered. As he holds out a coin to pay her, she grasps his hand with hers, asking if he liked her. He replies treating her as a child, to which she claims to already be an adult. She then speaks of wanting to take another step into adulthood. He politely declines her, as it is against the rules for a priest to have a lover. After she takes the coin, she has a fit, scattering the herbs as she runs out. While she looks at the coin, she says to herself that it's Zem's fault. The following day, she plays victim to assault to get back at him. He is arrested by other priests, locked away for 3 months, only to be excommunicated upon release. No one in the city believed he was innocent. The girl watches from the shadows, upset as a tear runs down her cheek. During his travels, he comes across an inn. He offers to heal the back pain of the lady innkeeper. The following day the lady gives him the advice to go to Labyrinth City, become an adventurer, saying that he should explore, experience more things in the world, saying that he wasn't a sinner. She even gave him items that were left behind by another healer. Next to speak is Curran, a dragon-human hybrid. When she is addressed by Nick to tell her story, she gets spooked, shyly tries to talk about it. The most we get out of her before drunken courage takes over is that something very important to her was taken away by the person they held dear. The only flashback we get to see is from her blurry point of view. Nick wakes up from a drunken dream to find himself in a room with the other 3 people from the tavern. Having hardly recalled much of the night, they learn they had woken up in Tiana's place. As they go to leave, Nick starts thinking, if they all want to keep living to enjoy their current lifestyle, even though they can't trust anyone, why don't they form a party? We learn that Curran is referred to as Survivor Girl among the guilds. She came back from a C-rank labyrinth alive on her own. When asked what their party name will be, the group agrees to go with the name Survivors, as they'll come back alive no matter what. After returning from the guild, they discuss the laws among their group. The 3 laws of the survivors they chose are, not interfering in others' hobbies, watching the money come back alive no matter what, while allocating roles to keep track of the money. It turns into a matter of distrust. As they speak about how either of them could get into the safe, it reverts to how Nick is being careful about it. Nick simply states that it came from his own experience in the matter. The topic goes on to how they should trust out each other at the same time. Curran finds that to be difficult to do, as she wants to believe in them, but at the same time she can't bring herself to do so fully. The same goes for the others as well, as they want to believe but can't. They start at the bottom rank G. They will have to defeat 2 of 3 bosses to rise to F rank. This is a way for new teams to practice learn the ropes. Tiana Zem are the only ones who have no experience in being adventurous. Where Nick comments that he can't see anyone dying in this labyrinth, but then again it could happen if they let down their guard. They find their first target, which is a slime. Nick proceeds to show the newcomers how to handle them. The slimes are easy enough to defeat by just reaching and pulling out their cores. He is then referred to as Nick Sensei in jest. As they continue on, Nick warns them that they should pay attention to their surroundings more than talking, as it could cost them in the long run. Zem comments that it still feels wrong to take a life even though they are monsters. Nick comments that it has to be done to protect normal plants animals, lest they turn into monsters as well. Tiana continues the topic, stating that if the monsters aren't culled, the miasma removed, the labyrinths will grow larger. Zem asks why monsters attack humans. Tiana responds that there has been researched in trying to communicate with monsters, but regardless of the type they all attack people. Nick reminds them to not drop their guard. Tiana ends up starting to brag, which leaves her open for attack. She gets goo squirted in the face made to slip. Nick comments that the damage that the slimes on the current floor will shoot sticky fluids if you step on one. It's equivalent to slipping on a banana peel. Tiana then seeks payback on the slimes, uses ice magic to attack, only she ends up misfiring, sending the ice shards toward Curran. Curran blocks the attack but is upset with Tiana. Tiana tries to apologize awkwardly. Yet Curran isn't having it, saying she tried to believe in her, stating that next time it might be her to make a mistake. From that point, Tiana and Curran were against each other. Everyone on the team was soloing while being together. When they reached the big boss, Tiana rushed in before Nick could say anything. Using ice magic, she attacked the large slime, making it explode, cover them all in goo, while they clean themselves by the lake. Nick decides that they should share their weaknesses, but only if they want to. He is the first to show all the weapons he is carrying, stating that he can do scouting, unarmed combat, use daggers, along with handling items, bookkeeping, then tells his weakness in the fact that he doesn't know anything about magic, can't use heavy weapons or use alchemy healing spells. After talking a bit about how some were jealous of their skills or exploited them for those skills, making them disillusioned, Nick has them think about what they want to do at this party. Zem is the next to speak of his weaknesses. He states that he is weak in everything they can do. Just don't take too long in doing so, as he can heal small wounds. Tiana then stands up, walks over to Curran. She bows as she apologizes, tells her strengths and weaknesses. She states that she can barely use fire magic at all. When Curran asks her why she's telling her this, Tiana plays it off as if she should have kept her mouth shut about it. When Tiana returns to her seat, Curran notices she is cold, so she pretends to sneeze, having sent a fireball in front of Tiana to warm her up. Curran plays it off as having missed hitting her with it. Tiana tells her she shouldn't miss next time or she won't be able to trust her when she's fighting out in front. Next, they go to fight goblins. Zem comes to realize how strong Nick is. During the time he is distracted, Tiana saves him from a goblin attacking from behind. Nick grabs some material off the goblin, says he'll scout ahead. Tiana tells him she has it converted, uses detect magic to find other hordes of goblins nearby. As they comment on her ability to detect magic at such a range, they also talk about how Nick can't be trusted to self-evaluate his skills. Then Tiana takes notice of a source of magic that is 5 times that of an average goblin. Nick says it's likely an ogre. Given their current capabilities, if they're not careful, it could end badly. If left alone, they would absorb the other packs, start attacking people. Plus they go for a lot of money, so retreating wasn't an option. They come up with a plan of attack, carry it out. Having defeated the horde, they begin to gather materials. Curran pulls something out of her things, holding it, thinking. As Nick struggles to get a horn out of the monster, Curran ends up dropping the item when Nick bumps into her after getting the horn free. Having dropped the horn as well, it cracks what looks to be a pendant of sorts that belonged to Curran.